The Brittany Griner controversy has become one of the most explosive stories in sports today, and Stephen A. Smith's fiery commentary has poured gasoline on an already raging fire. Griner, once celebrated as one of the most dominant players in women's basketball, is now at the center of a storm that threatens not only her career but the reputation of the entire WNBA. For many fans, it's shocking to see how quickly the narrative around her has shifted, from a wrongfully imprisoned athlete in Russia returning home to a hero's welcome, to someone now accused of being shielded by the league at all costs. Stephen A. Smith, never one to hold back, recently dropped what he called a vault statement, tearing into the WNBA for playing favorites, covering up uncomfortable truths and risking the league's credibility just to keep Griner on the court. He didn't mince words. If the league won't deal with this now, he says Griner should never step foot on a WNBA court again. His remarks hit harder because they weren't just about her, they were about what the WNBA is becoming, and whether it can even survive if the controversy keeps growing. The first reason he gave is the one nobody can ignore. If the swirling rumors about Griner's birth gender are true, then her size, wingspan, strength, and overall physical makeup give her an advantage no other WNBA player can match. Fans have been pointing this out for years, posting highlights of her dunking with ease, blocking shots like she's playing in the NBA, and towering over her competition. A dunk from Griner isn't just another play, it feels like an event. But that's also why fans argue it undermines the whole point of having a women's league. If the WNBA allows one player to dominate because of physical advantages others can't match, what does that say about the fairness of the competition? And then comes the more dangerous angle, player safety. Basketball is a contact sport, and physical mismatches can put players at risk. When Griner throws her weight around in the paint, defenders can end up on the floor. Clips have circulated online showing her bulldozing through opponents while referees swallow the whistle. If the rumors are true and the league knows but refuses to act, then the safety of other players is being sacrificed to keep one star on the court. That's not favoritism anymore, that's negligence. This leads to a bigger issue, trust. Every day the WNBA refuses to address the controversy, it loses credibility with fans. People are openly asking whether the league is running a fair competition or if it's just protecting its biggest name. And for a league still fighting to grow its fan base, trust is everything. Once people start thinking games are rigged or the rules don't apply equally, they stop watching. Even casual fans are starting to turn away, fueled by podcasts and TikToks questioning whether the league is hiding the truth. The double standard only makes it worse. Other athletes have been suspended or fined for far less. Players have lost contracts over tweets, minor off-court incidents, or elevated testosterone levels. Angel Reese, one of the league's most talked-about young stars, has faced intense scrutiny over suspension rumors. Meanwhile, Griner has been shielded from public testing, never addressed leaked documents, and avoided suspension despite her past arrest. Fans see this and call it exactly what it looks like, favoritism. The silence from Griner herself only adds fuel to the fire. She hasn't publicly addressed the leaks or demanded the league clear her name. And when weeks go by without a response, speculation only multiplies. Online forums and fan spaces are flooded with the same question. If there's nothing to hide, why not prove it? Every day she remains silent, people assume the worst. Sponsorships are another ticking time bomb. Big brands hate controversy, and the WNBA has leaned heavily on partnerships to survive. Already, there are whispers that sponsors are backing away, cutting ads, and avoiding promotions tied to Griner's name. Without sponsors like Kim Kardashian, Skims, or Nike, the league would struggle to stay afloat. Ticket sales alone can't sustain it. For a league that has always fought for legitimacy and financial stability, this kind of scandal could be devastating. And then there's the comparison to other sports organizations. The Olympics, FIFA, the NCAA, every one of them has strict policies around gender verification, testosterone levels, and eligibility. If you don't meet the criteria, you don't compete. Period. Yet the WNBA has said nothing. No clear policy. No statements. Nothing but silence. Compared to other leagues, it makes them look amateurish or worse, complicit. The risk isn't just external. Behind the scenes, players are reportedly frustrated. Some veterans don't want their legacies tied to a scandal. Younger stars don't want their futures dragged down by association. There's already talk of potential walkouts if the league doesn't address the situation. And it wouldn't be the first time WNBA players united to take a stand. They've done it before over pay disputes. If even one star publicly refuses to play alongside Griner, it could set off a domino effect that the league may not recover from. And then come the lawsuits. If the leaked documents ever get verified and it turns out the WNBA knew but looked the other way, the legal fallout would be brutal. Players could sue for lost titles and bonuses. Sponsors could demand their money back. Even fans could launch class action suits for false advertising. Each lawsuit would bleed the league of money it doesn't have, threatening its very existence. All of this comes at the worst possible time, because the WNBA finally has a star who can carry it into a new era, Caitlin Clark. She's the ratings magnet, the sponsorship darling, the one drawing millions of new eyes to the league. But every time a Griner scandal dominates the headlines, Clark's momentum is undercut. Insiders are already whispering that if the WNBA keeps shielding Griner, Clark may decide this league isn't worth it. And if she walks away, so might the fans and sponsors who have followed her. Without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's future looks bleak. That's why Stephen A. Smith's words struck such a nerve. He wasn't just attacking Griner, he was questioning whether the WNBA itself deserves to survive. If the league keeps protecting its favorites, bending rules, and refusing to face the truth, it risks losing everything it has worked for. Fans, sponsors, and players will all leave. And once that trust is gone, there's no coming back. In the end, the league has a choice to make. Does it protect its biggest star, or does it protect the future of women's basketball? Because it can't do both. And as Stephen A. made clear, if the WNBA doesn't make the hard decisions soon, the decision might be made for them by the fans, by the sponsors, or by the collapse of the league itself.